Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to a very special extra interview of Final Cut. Today, I have a Power Ranger, and the biggest question I have is, can the discount Mark Hamill redeem himself through his quiz that he has made specifically for Power Rangers? Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Carter.
Hello.
How are we doing, sir?
I'm going well. I mean, it's like nice and fresh in the morning for me right now. So I'm feeling kind of like at the beginning of my day.
Yeah. Whereas it is 10:15 in England, and I am near enough at the end of my day.
Yeah, you're ready for sleep. I'm ready to like go for a run. So we'll see how this goes.
We will, yeah. You first started on a TV movie called Curious City, playing the character Jeff. Were you nervous on your first day on set?
No, it was a really chill like production. It was like a pilot that never got made into a TV series.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very much like quite experimental and like new filmmakers, and they were all like everyone was pretty fresh as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy. Also, I was like had just finished acting school, and I think you have like a lot of energy and optimism, which I still have. Yeah, and I liked it. And it was also just really like weird and fun, which is kind of my favorite thing to do. So it was very much, I felt like I was in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Let's not forget the most important soap opera in New Zealand called Shortland Street, which you were on, playing Cam McCaskill. What was it like working on a soap opera, especially one that airs 5 nights a week?
It was good. It was kind of like, even though it is 5 nights a week, you kind of have like a week on and a week off where your character will be focused on, and the next week it's a bit lighter. Or if you have a really intense week, you'll have like a couple of weeks where it's quite light. So it never felt like the workload was too intense.
Yeah.
It was definitely like, because there's I think it's easy to become a bit of a perfectionist with things like that, because you want, like, obviously, like if it's going to be on screen, you want it to like look good.
Yeah.
So it was actually really good to do that show and have to kind of like let go of that, because there's so like, for example, Shortland Street would film a scene normally between 20 minutes to 45 minutes would be kind of how much time they dedicate to filming a scene. Whereas on my Power Rangers, you would spend, for the same amount of pages, you would probably spend like almost half a day. So the turnover is so quick, you kind of just like quickly do it, then you're out. You're like as convincing as you can be. And it's, yeah, quite like impressive, especially for the writers who churn out like a half-hour episode every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. There is actually a Power Ranger connection in Shortland Street, because Sally Martin, who plays Nicole Miller, has actually done Shortland Street for a lot of years. Just for those who aren't sure, she played Tori Hansen on Ninja Storm, which I actually have watched. Was it weird knowing that a fellow Power Ranger was in New Zealand's longest reigning soap with you?
No, because there were actually like a lot. So I was playing the younger brother of a character called Drew, and his wife was Rhea. And Rhea played a villain on Power Rangers as well. And then my character owned this like bar restaurant with Sally and Pua, who were both like Power Rangers. So it was literally like there were like 4 of us on the show at the same time who'd all been on Power Rangers, who are now doing Shortland Street. It's kind of like in New Zealand, you have like there are these sort of main shows like Power Rangers or Shortland Street, which have been going on for like 30 years. And like, so you often meet people who have done both of them or do both of them at the same time with people. Yeah. But no, Sally's like super, super nice. She's so like, yeah, fun and lovely. So it was, yeah. It's also fun to be with people, because I think Power Rangers kind of teaches you to be kind of like quite like fun, and it's because it's like a really fun set. It was a great first set to work on. You kind of like learn to like have fun and relax, and everyone kind of had that energy, probably maybe from like starting off on that show, and you kind of like where you cut your teeth is in an environment where you can kind of like not goof around, but you get to really just kind of like enjoy what you're doing and not feel the pressure of
Hmm.
it. Mm.
What is your favorite memory from your time on Power Rangers?
Lots. I think like I'm still very good friends with a few of the cast, so that was really nice. Like Davi Santos and Claire Blackwelder in
Uh-huh.
particular. I'm like real close with them still, so that was a real fun connection. But I think my favorite thing was so when I was working on it, it was because I was a villain.
Yeah.
I worked mainly in the second unit, which is they don't normally have like acted like it's kind of rare for them to have a villain who's not like a big like the mask and the costume and everything.
And a deep voice as well.
Yeah, it's normally like a crazy so it was nice to like it was just a human villain, but the second unit never normally deal with a lot of like acting, and they don't often like if the Power Rangers are there, they're doing stunts because second unit is dedicated to it's like the stunt unit. So it was really nice to kind of, it almost felt like I had my own little like family and unit in the second unit
Mhm.
because I was really one of the only actors that they were dealing with. So we all became like quite close, and I got to always watch like the stunts because there's a Japanese stunt team who
Yeah.
do like, and they're amazing. Like the really like the stars of that show are the stunt people. They are like the most dedicated, talented, hardworking people ever. So I think that my favorite memory was really just hanging with them and getting really close to the second unit people and being able to just like really feel like we had a small little like family for the few months of that production.
Yeah.
Mm.
Obviously, when you first came into acting, you had a plan for what you wanted to do. Was Power Rangers always part of that plan?
Um, well, I'd always kind of like, I guess, being in New Zealand, you're really aware of your like options as far as what
Yeah.
TV shows will be on. Because, like I said, there's like, you have Power Rangers and Shortland Street, which are really like staples and always kind of productions that run here. And there are a few like murder mysteries. So, yeah, I like at the beginning, like looked at it and was like, hey, that's a show I want to work on. That like kind of all the like, all the long running shows. I was like, oh, it'd be good to have like a decent part on
Yeah.
these. Yeah.
So, what drew you to play Heckle?
Oh, I think like I mean it's hard with questions like that because it was like the beginning of my like it was the first job I ever did.
Wow.
So in all honesty,
Yeah.
it's not like I was like it's not like I was like able to be like, oh yeah, I'll do like this or be like picky. It was kind of like just auditioning for things and seeing what stuck. But I really liked it because I think I often get cast and enjoy playing like villains or characters like that. I think it's like partly just an aesthetic thing and the way I sound kind of suits those characters better.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like they can have more fun. Like on this set, it's interesting. Like there was like the limitations because it is a kids show and it's like it's got to like remain safe for kids to watch.
Yeah.
Um, it's interesting. Like there was a scene with the Power Rangers, and they were having like a bit of a confrontation. I think it was James and Michael in the scene were kind of like yelling at each other. And they did this really good scene, and it was really like great acting and really quite intense. But then they had to ADR it to make it sound a bit more like less intense
Yeah.
because for a kids show it was like too much of a conflict for the good guys to be having. Whereas this is such a long-winded way of answering your question, sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
Then as the bad guy, you can actually do whatever you want. You can kind of like scream and yell and cry and laugh and be crazy. You have like so much more leeway because there are a lot of rules that apply to being a Power Ranger that are like you need to be a role model for kids, which is all great like stuff. But as a bad guy, you don't have to be a role model really to anyone. So you can kind of just do anything.
That's why it's always fun to be the villain, because you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You don't want to be popular. It's not a problem.
Yeah, and there's no pressure to try to be liked. There's no pressure to be anyone's favorite character. There's like no pressure for anything. You kind of just like go about, do like whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And fun. Because do you act? Do you perform as well, or?
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I was saying, do you act and perform as well? Or?
I don't know, but Mr. Tasker is actually a voiceover artist, and he's actually, I can't remember how many nights he's in, but he's actually doing a theatre play, and I think he's got 8 nights straight, and I think he's on night 5 today. So he's actually in performing arts.
Wow, yeah, night 5. That's like always a fun stage as well, by like night 5, where everything starts to chill and you kind of know what the deal is and you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I might provoke your envy a little bit with this next question, but don't blame me, blame Fraser, I'm just a messenger. In the comics, your character actually became Daniel Charge Dark Ranger. Did you got that chance?
Like kind of. I really like enjoyed my experience. I kind of almost like the fact that it was done in a comic book as opposed to like it was kind of like a nice thing to see that people obviously liked the character enough to like write that into the sort of fan fiction. Yeah, so no, I quite like the way it like panned out. Really, I don't think I think the difference between being a Power Ranger and being a villain, there's not much of a difference for me. It's like, but I think the main thing I really enjoyed about the character is like the Dark Ranger that it becomes. It's like, yeah, it was just nice to see that people obviously connected to the character and wanted to see him as a superhero and as like a part of the team enough to put that in the comic book. So yeah, I kind of preferred it how it eventuated.
Did you get to keep the Dark Energy when Dino Charge was over?
I did.
Have you got it? Have you got it with you?
Oh, it's not. It's at my mum's place.
Ooh.
Safe. But yeah, it's like, yeah, we all got to keep the energems associated with our characters. So I was happy that I got one, and it was also the best looking one, in my opinion.
Of course, like, just like on the Director's Cut podcast, I would say I'm the most attractive one. To be fair, a lot of people probably would say I'm the most attractive one. So I entirely see your point of view, sir.
Exactly. You've got to be your own biggest hype man.
Yeah. All right, then. Do you view Heckle as a tragic character since he lost his memory because of his path of villainy when he was trying to protect Sentai 6 and the Dark Energy Gem from falling into the wrong hands?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that was one of my favorite things about the character was that he had like like Chip was really good at giving the character like a backstory that gave it like the character like a nice arc and allowed him to have his own sort of episodes and his own journey, because without that it would have been like, it also would have been, because the character becomes good in the end, I think it would have been hard to have like, I think you've always got to have if you want to make a evil character a nice guy in the end, the best way to do that is with a tragic backstory.
Yeah. I would say it doesn't matter which Power Ranger series, there's always 2 types of villains. The ones where they have no tragic backstory, like let's say between Repulsor, Lord Zed, Machine Empire, etc., or they do have a tragic backstory, because I've got to say, Heckle isn't the first character with a tragic backstory. I believe Ransik had one from Time Force. I'm trying to think who else had one, actually.
Oh.
He's the only one that comes to mind at the minute, but I'm sure if Fraser was here, he'd probably go through every single Power Rangers
We
series.
lost a little bit of connection there.
Yeah, sorry.
But
Off the top of my head, I can only think of Rancic, but if Fraser was here, he'd probably go through every single Power Rangers series there has been and literally go through every single villain which has no tragic backstory and those that do have a tragic backstory. He is really such a big fan.
I'm like, love that he's a fan, but also slightly relieved he's not here because he would have exposed how little I know.
Hey, isn't that what acting is about? Just winging it.
Being in it, yeah. I knew like my series, but I'd never really because Power Rangers was banned in New Zealand when I was a kid.
Were they?
Yeah, it wasn't. I think there were some parents that complained about the violence in it
Oh God.
and it being too violent to be a kids' TV show. So it was never on the TV, despite the fact that it was being made here. It was never shown.
Yeah, that was worse thing. Actually, Mr. Fraser has got a question which might draw you back into Power Rangers. He says, if they were to adapt the comics into a show, would you reprise your role?
Oh yeah, that would be so fun. Yeah, definitely. Also, the comics are a lot like, from what I've seen, they're quite a bit darker, aren't they? They're like a bit more adult.
The only thing I need to say is Lord Draken.
What is that?
Right. If Fraser was here, he would explain it to you. Basically, you know how in the original Tommy Oliver was turned evil by Rita?
Yeah.
Well, in the Boom comics, he wasn't saved. He retreated. And then basically he became more conquering. He didn't become the White Ranger, obviously. Jason did. But as Jason became the White Ranger, he merged his Green Ranger powers with the White Ranger powers. And from then on in, he became Lord Draken. To be honest with you, if Fraser was here, he'd probably explain it a lot better than I can. But basically, it was an alternate version where the Green Ranger was still evil.
Okay. Yeah, Fraser would definitely school me on everything, I would imagine.
But do you want to know what's funny? He we label him the comic book encyclopedia. Yeah, he was beaten by me and Nathan, and we are as far from comic book encyclopedias as, say, Fraser is with knowing how to have a game of football. Yeah. And he still brings up, it's like, you're the comic book encyclopedia. He goes, well, I can't be that much of an encyclopedia. You two beat me.
It's good. It's good to have everyone like have their niches.
Yeah. Right. You have done a few shorts, just aside from Power Rangers. You've done Blue Mist, Dawson is Dead, Fireflies in the Night, Peacock, Daddy's Little Angel, just to name but a few. Do short films allow you to relax your creative muscles in ways full feature projects don't allow you to?
Oh yeah, I think most of the time with shorts, like they're either people I know making something or they're like reasonably low budgets, so like a bit of like really just a bit of fun to do. And a lot of them that I did them like quite early on in my career. So I think it's have you paused? Am I coming through clear?
Yeah, you were, yeah.
Oh great. Oh easy. Yeah, I did them quite like early, like a lot of those were early on, or if they're a bit later, they're kind of just like friends who have asked and been like, would you be able to help out with this? So I love it. You like get to like kind of similar to that pilot. You get to just like work with your mates, have fun, relax, do whatever. Yeah. And also like short films are often again like because you have 15 minutes to quickly tell a story, it's normally gonna be quite like out there. They can be as experimental as you want because it's not like they've got millions of dollars pumped into them. You can kind of like really just go for gold and be your weird self.
Yeah. Just before we go on to the quiz, have you got anything coming up that we haven't already discussed that you'd like to talk about, or anything close to you that you'd like to promote?
Not really. I mean, there are a couple like New Zealand TV shows that are sort of like streaming at the moment, just like one called My Life is Murder, and then I think Brokenwood is still going, but they're kind of just like they're like, like Midsummer Murders.
Oh,
Yeah, they're kind of like the Midsummer Murder vibe. So
oh,
it's kind of like
nice.
older. Yeah, they're like older audiences to that, but no, not like too much. Just chugging away. Yeah.
I quickly had to go to grab my phone because of the question I'm now going to ask. Do you
Oh,
have
yeah.
any social media?
Yes, I do. I have Instagram,
I
and
have
that's about
Instagram.
it.
I'm just getting it up now after I cut through everything. Right. I'm right. I'm ready. Waiting.
It's just Ryan.J.Carter.
Hold on a minute. Would it be this very handsome chap
That's it.
there? Yep. You, sir, are now followed by Final Cut Official.
Great. I'll give you a follow back.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, very quickly, it is the Final Cut Power Rangers quiz of 2022. Well, it is a Power Rangers quiz, unfortunately. If it cannot flummox Misty Flores, who knows more about Power Rangers than anything, then quite frankly, Nathan has failed, which he has. But I'm hoping he'll come back next year with a bit more than what he's brought. But I'll just give you I'll give you a few bits of his to see what he can build on. Um, if you do have kids, you're allowed to show them 4 additional Power Rangers series aside from the series you were in, which is a given. So, what would you like your kids to watch?
I think Mighty Morphin is like the
Of
original one,
course,
right?
you got to
Yeah.
go
So
with
I
it.
think that one, like, start with the base. RPM was meant to be really good,
Right.
wasn't it? RPM is like not like I think a solid series. So that, and then I really like the cast of Dino Fury, and also it's kind of like I think the dinosaur themed ones are more fun. So I think Dino Fury and then Cosmic Fury can be the last one because then they get to have like,
Oh, I so thought you would have said Ninja Storm there as well.
oh really?
Yeah,
Oh, Ninja Storm 2. That can
of
be
course,
in
Ninja
there.
Storm too. All right, then. There's been a lot of divide in the Power Rangers community for decades about who Tommy Oliver should have ended up with, Kimberly or Catherine. As if it means anything, we three are always divided about. We're divided about everything. I mean, me and Fraser are divided about which Evil Dead's the best. We literally argue about which WWE wrestler is the greatest of all time. So, as a bit of welcome sanity in our midst, what's your take on it?
I think because he doesn't end up with Kimberly, does he?
He doesn't end up with Kimberly. He ends up with Kat. But
Yeah.
I believe, if I remember my Fraser history lesson, Kimberly actually says she has a boyfriend, but in the comics, she actually heads off somewhere. I can't remember what it is she does, but I think it's kind of like a secret mission that Tommy doesn't need to know about. I'm
Oh,
just trying to think. But me
I'm gonna go
personally,
Kimberly there.
I've always been Team Timberlake.
Yeah, I think I'm Team Kimberly as well because she sounds like a bit of an underdog. If she's going out on missions and pretending that she has a boy, like, yeah, just sounds like she has a bit more going for her, and also playing a bit hard. Like, it's also fun to be like she doesn't like. She obviously puts her work before the relationship, which
Yeah.
you know, if you're a Power Ranger, is admirable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no, I'd be with you. I'd be Team Kimberly.
I've always been Team Kimberly. I mean, I think it says something when the minute Jason David Frank showed up on Power Rangers, Kimberly was like, he's really hot. Yeah, I think that's what she and every other teenager thought at that time. All right, then. You have 4 alerts for your account. You've received 4 different Power Ranger teams asking for you to join them. But because of your busy schedule, you can only join one, and the other 3 will basically have to fight their battles and be defeated. So, who would you
Right.
join and why? There's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, obviously.
Mhm.
Power Rangers in Space, Ninja Steel, and I didn't ride this, by the way, and I find it quite funny that this was actually done like 6-7 months ago. Ninja Storm's in there as well.
Oh, I definitely do Ninja Storm, so I could like Sally, and sadly Pooh is not with us anymore. But in this reality, he is, so it'd be lovely to hang with them again. And also, like, yeah, fight with them. Also, Ninja Storm was a really great cast of mainly New Zealand actors, which I also love. They don't often cast a lot of New Zealanders in the Power Ranger roles anymore.
Yeah.
Just because of I think it's to do with like equity. There's no quota that you need to fill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a great, like a very strong cast, mainly just to hang with Sally and Pooh, to be honest. Oh, sorry. That's literally, there's a guy who's trying tires and he calls me every day. So that was what that was.
I know someone who's something like that. To be honest with you, there is one about Lord Draken here, but Nathan always does it better for dramatic effects. So I'm going to move on. And I know. So there is a Mount Rushmore for Power Rangers as far as we three are concerned. We've decided on JDF because Jason David Frank is Jason David Frank. There is no one like him. There will never be anyone like him.
Mm-hmm.
So there's JDF, yourself, FinalCut's old dear friend Ciara Hanna, and Johnny Young Bosch, who played Adam in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Zeo, Turbo. Now, there was no room for two certain Rangers, so seeing as we can't come to a decision, we need you to make the decision because we will not argue with you, plus you can get away with just about everything. Actually, do you know what? It says this was originally without Sally on it, but I'm going to put Sally in it as well. So the choices are Amy Jo Johnson, who played Kimberly, obviously, Catherine Sutherland, who played Kat. And just because Sally Martin keeps popping up into our conversation, and you did co-star with her on Shortland Street for a while, Sally Martin.
Sally Martin, put her up there, 100%.
But who's going in place of Sally Martin?
Oh, me. I'll go.
Oh, bless you. Ever such a gentleman you are, sir.
Cut me out of there and put Sally up.
Oh, bless you. Oh, yeah. I tell you what, we have actually got a time for that Lord Draken one. Now, everyone who's read Boom Comics and saw the trailer a while ago knows that Tommy's alter ego, Lord Draken, is trying to take over the Earth yet again. Now, in order to do so, he's captured every Power Ranger throughout time. He cannot accept failure, so in order to lure you, yourself, and you from another timeline out, he's allowing you to pick a team of Rangers to go against him for the fate of the world. Win, and you will obtain peace and freedom. Lose, and there's no resistance to stop him because, let's face it, Lord Draken is severely cruel, but he only has a few rules to follow, which is only Power Rangers from the TV show and movies are allowed, so nobody from the comics is allowed. Mm-hmm. You can select Rangers from any era. If you do pick Tommy, he only has access to the Ranger power of his choice, so there's no Master Morpher allowed, like he had in his finale. And the Megaforce team does not have access to their Ranger keys. And the last rule is it might be a bit complicated, but I will literally waive this rule. You must select a team of Rangers that includes one black or green, one blue, one red Ranger, one yellow, one pink, and one sixth Ranger. But you just get to pick your team. So any Rangers, doesn't matter who it is, when it is, you can pick whatever six you like.
I could do whatever six I like. I mean, I think I could do the color ones though.
You just can't have a team of six Tommy Olivers because that wouldn't be fair.
It wouldn't work. I could do the color, like mainly if I'm like doing it. It's mainly a reunion of my like friends. So it would be like for the Black Ranger, it would be fun to have like James Davies, who was Chase. For the Blue, Yoshi was like fun. He was Coda in my thing, and he was fun. And like, yeah, he was also like the most lovely, like generous person to work with. The Red Ranger would be, I mean, either Pua or Brennan. If I'll do, I mean, Brennan's great, but I'll do Pua just because, or else it's all the Dino Charge cast.
Yeah.
For yellow, that was Sally yellow?
She was blue.
It was blue. Oh, okay, it's gone. I've already done that. I did it with Yoshi. What about is it Tui Trang, who was like one of the
She was
original
yellow.
ones? Yeah. We'll bring her as well. It'll be nice as well. Like also we have the same birthday.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So I'm like, do that. And also like rest in peace. It would be great to have her there just to like in the imagined reality of this situation.
Yeah.
And then 5 was a pink.
Yep. So you can choose between Kimberly and Cat if you wish.
Oh, I think I'm gonna go with because I know Hunter, Dino, and I think she's like great. I think she's such a good leader. She's got like yeah, I'm gonna go Hunter Dino actually.
Yeah.
Go with like some originals, and then the last one is like whoever I want.
If you like.
I want to put it's either Darby, who is the gold, or Claire. Actually, it's going to be both of them. There's going to be one person. It's Darby and Claire, just to like for fun.
Fair enough. Then I'll tell you who my 6 are, but I am going to be very old school here because I literally grew up in 90s Power Rangers. So Tommy would be my Red Ranger. Zach would be my Black. Sorry, but I know that's really bad. I know. I'd have Trent from Dino Thunder as my 6th Ranger. Obviously, to be honest with you, I love Sally Martin in Ninja Storm, so I would have Sally. I'd have, if I don't say Sierra Hana, she will never forgive me, so I'll have Sierra Hana. I think that's 4. Obviously, JDF. I remember you mentioned JDF, haven't I? I'm trying to think. I'm just saying these off the top of my head. I'm struggling now.
No, take your time.
I would actually have. I'd actually have Pua as well because I absolutely loved his Red Ranger on Ninja Storm.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great actor.
But he's played a Red Ranger, but there's nothing to say you can't change the colours a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In certain light, red can look like a bunch of different colours.
Yeah. And I would actually have Emma Lahana because, let's face it, who doesn't want a Keira Knightley look-alike on their team?
Yeah.
Mention the fact that she can sing.
Oh, can she?
Oh, she can, mate, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's always a good little bonus to have in your team. Was that your final one?
That was I believe that was my final one. Unfortunately, I said about 4, and then I was like, oh, God. I had mine. I literally went blank in my head. I was like, oh, my God.
You've reached the limit of your, like, Power Rangers.
Yeah. Yeah, Fraser is I'll say he's the bigger Power Rangers fan out of all of us. As everyone who listens to us knows. But he just knows everything, even though me and Nathan have beat him. But he still knows more than me and Nathan combined. It's just a case of we got lucky on that day.
Yeah, judging from this interview, though, you know a lot about, like, got good knowledge, general knowledge. Good specific knowledge.
Then again, you should, let's say, thank God you don't come on our gaming special because we play, but we're not like, we're not like YouTubers who literally stream for 12 hours every day and have our own companies. But we do love a game. I'm sure Fraser's got Shattered Grid somewhere. Although saying that, we are trying to get Fraser to play Peppa Pig the game for PlayStation. It's a running joke that Nathan started, and it's got to the point where the guys he does comics with, because he's got his own comic book out, they're actually doing Peppa Pig in front of him, and he's like, I hate you guys. I mean, even my friends doing it, and I'm like, yes, it's worked. It's finally worked.
Do a Peppa Pig commentary. It has to happen.
Hey, that's a good one. I'll tell you what, I'll bring that up on the one of next year. I'll say, Ryan Carter says, Fraser, we need a running commentary for an episode of Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I think that's what people want.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think. Yeah, the only thing is, if you want a commentary, that's what Nathan's good for. But then again, if you want Nathan, you literally want to discount Mark Hamill because he can do a really good Joker's voice.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, you need to get someone. I was so surprised when I found out that Mark Hamill was so talented at voiceovers and stuff.
Yep, I literally did not know the Clown Prince of Crime in 90s animated Batman was him. I was truly
is that the really controversial one?
No, I think that was actually, to be honest with you, is 90s animation, so probably not. I would probably say that I'd say probably Heath Ledger's or Jared Leto's. I mean, Heath Ledger's was brilliant. Jared Leto's nobody really liked because, as far as I was concerned, Jared Leto was just recycling what Heath Ledger had already done.
Yeah, he was like and it was a bit like
Yeah, I don't think anyone liked it. I know we didn't like it.
Yeah, it was also he was kind of tasked with an impossible job of like following up Heath Ledger. So you do feel sorry for him.
Definitely.
It's like difficult. But it was, if Mark Hamill is the one that he did the voice for, the one where the Joker puts like the guy into like the fun house and he's on that train.
You mean The Killing Joke?
Yes.
Yes, that is the one. I actually remember that conversation.
Yeah,
Mark Hamill actually said he would come out of retirement specifically for The Killing Joke. The only problem is The Killing Joke should have been 45 minutes long, not an hour and 20. And the other 35 minutes was completely wasted, well and truly.
Yeah, I remember.
I tell you what I have got. You mentioned The Killing Joke. Just one sec. I actually got this with the DVD.
Oh, I love it. It's so creepy. I love that. Yeah, the image of the Joker.
I was saying that Nathan, I believe, there's 2 Joker Funko Pops.
Oh, great. Are you a big collector of those as well?
Yeah. I tell you what, Ryan, what I would like, next year, if I can get the boys on, would you fancy a follow-up? Or maybe even coming on our Sunday night podcast?
Yeah, we can work something out. If you've been talking with Jackie.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. We were like, it can definitely work something out. I mean, next year is a new year and there's plenty of time.
It is a new year. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new start.
Yeah. That's what, who's that? Aerosmith.
Sorry, you lost me a sec.
No, I was just saying, are you quoting Aerosmith? Was it Aerosmith or Arrow?
Aerosmith, I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Armageddon, 1996, and in fact, wasn't the first time his daughter, Liv Tyler, was actually in one of his videos. I believe the other one was Crazy as well.
Oh, yeah. No.
See, I'm just full of useless information.
Yeah.
And, I will say one thing, Ryan. It's been an honour. Obviously, Mr. Fraser wishes he could have been here, but obviously he wasn't. So that is the other reason why I've asked you back next year. So hopefully the guys can actually have a bit more, I'll say, not so much get involved, but so they can actually meet you, because Fraser was so excited when we actually got the news that you were actually coming on.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a shame to not meet him, especially if he is such a big fan.
He is. He's honestly, he is really such a big fan. In fact, he's such a big fan. I believe he's told me that he actually watches it with his daughter, and he's trying to get her into Power Rangers a lot more.
Oh, is it working?
I'd say so.
Great, but it's been a pleasure. A great way to start my
start Tuesday. Your day, mate. Yeah. It's been an honour, and what time is it over there, by the way?
Oh, it's almost 12 o'clock.
No, I was going to say thank you for getting up so early, but I should say thank you so late. No. Mate. Seriously, it's been a pleasure and an honour. Thank you so much. And on that, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Carter.